Welcome to my 2024 NFL mock draft. We're doing no trades in this one. We got a legit quarterback draft class, a lot of talent at receiver, same as offensive line. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have the first overall pick because of that trade with the Carolina Panthers for DJ Moore and the first round pick. That first round pick became the first overall pick in this year's draft class. And yeah, the Bears basically finessed the Carolina Panthers. Not a great trade on their part, but for the Bears, phenomenal one. And we're doing no trades in this one, so this one's the easy pick for the Bears. We're going with Caleb Williams out of USC. The guy has legit talent. He does have some question marks, but he is talented. You can't take that away from him. And him going to the Bears is going to be a franchise guy. But the Bears do have options. They could easily trade this pick away and get like 3 first-round picks because this is the King's ransom, essentially. But for the Washington Commanders, they got Kingsbury as their OC. He pulled out of his job from the Las Vegas Raiders to become part of the Commanders organization. And that really means one thing, is that they want Caleb Williams and they're going to push super hard to get him on this team. And in my opinion, I don't think that's a great idea, because if you're going to do that, you're going to give up so much draft capital in the future and probably in this year's draft class as well. Maybe even a player. Like, what if they give up Scary Terry and then like a first round pick next year, bro? Imagine that. The Commanders give up Scary Terry to get Williams and give up a first round pick. Basically the same thing that the Panthers did, just with a bigger name, household name, and Scary Terry. But I don't think it was a good idea. What I believe the Commanders should do is go with the offensive line. And Joe Alt from Notre Dame, he is the best tackle in this draft class, and in my opinion, he might be the best tackle in the past couple of years. The Commanders roster is not great. That offensive line is horrible, one of the worst in the league. So whoever you draft at quarterback, they're not going to do great. They're not going to do great, and they're going to get hit a lot, and their longevity is going to get lower and lower. You're just stunting their growth to develop to become the star. It's just not how you should do it, you know. Look at the Carolina Panthers. They try to do it. Look at where they're at now. They're the worst team in the NFL. And then you look at the Houston Texans. What they did, they drafted well the past couple years. Then they drafted a quarterback, and that's how you do it. You don't just draft a really good quarterback. Yeah, they're really good. You should probably pick them. But if you look at your roster, is it a good idea? Do you have the assets for him to be successful? No. The answer is no for the Washington Commanders. And what's his name? Williams, the Hall of Fame quarterback for the Washington Redskins. He even said that we could draft a tackle. Like he said it, and the interviewers took notice. They're like, "Oh, whoa." So they're not pushing that out of question. He's like, no. But he's not even the GM. He's just personnel or something like that. So it's all on the GM. But in my opinion, they should go linemen, because that offensive line is horrible. The team is just not good. You have Scary Terry and a couple of receivers and Robertson. But defensively, that team's not good. Offensive line is not good. You have a lot to do. And it's not a process that just happens like that. This process takes years. And it starts now for the Commanders. And you start by drafting a lineman for your future quarterback. Alright, the New England Patriots have the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft class. Tons of people have them going quarterbacks. I understand where they're coming from, because this quarterback group is talented as hell. Might be the best I've seen for a couple of years now, right? Who was the past quarterback? Last year was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, but CJ Stroud is the only one that really showed something. It was really just Bryce and CJ Stroud last year. Year before that, it was a Walker draft. That one was not really that good either. and then before that was the Trevor Lawrence one, right? And so yeah, this is the best quarterback draft class we have seen in a while. But I'm going to shock you again. The New England Patriots, for me, are not going to take another quarterback. And here's why. You have Marvin Harris Jr. on the board right now. He is the best receiver in this class, and by far best receiver in the past couple of drafts as well. He is a generational receiver. If you take a quarterback, yeah, they're probably great. But again, same position as Washington Command building team. The Patriots, if they get a quarterback, you would have 3 on the roster. You could probably cut Zappy, but you would have Mac Jones still and the quarterback you select right here. But if you draft Marvin Harris Jr., you have a legit guy and probably a future top 5 receiver in the league. And whoever's that quarterback, he's going to be able to ball with. Eventually, you will get that legit quarterback for him. But as of right now, you get a guy that's going to be one of the best in the league no matter what. And that's Marvin Harris Jr. right here. The Arizona Cardinals have the 4th overall pick. They're in full scramble mode, full panic mode, because they thought that Marvin Harris was going to fall to them and it was going to be an easy pick, easy selection, a no-brainer for them because they need a receiver. Marvin Harris Jr. has been the best receiver for the past couple of years and is a generational receiver. They thought they had it in the bag. But the New England Patriots selected him and they're in shock. But it should be still a no-brainer for them. They go with the offensive lineman out of Penn State. He's going to help you run the football, and he's a great pass blocker, but I believe he's phenomenal at running the football. He's going to allow James Conner to go off. And last year, he drafted Paris Johnson. He is your right tackle, so basically you're doubling down on tackles. And the offensive line is going to be looking pretty nice. You got this guy right here from Penn State and Paris Johnson on the right side. You will be able to run the football. Now all you need to do is draft a receiver in the 2nd round, which there'll be plenty of them. And they do have another 1st round pick, so you maybe get one right there. But there's plenty of receivers in this year's draft class, super stacked. Get the offensive lineman, help Kyle Murray out so he's not running for his life. And this Penn State guy, he helps run the football as well. So right here, going with this guy. And hey, this is a no-brainer for me. There goes Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Get your tight end. Recreate that Rivers and Antonio Gates was Herbert and Bowers. They haven't had a tight end since Antonio Gates. And you got Bowers. Bowers is a guy. He's been legit. When you first saw Bowers on that field, you already knew he could go into the NFL right now and make an impact to any team. And he's here now. Chargers should select him. It's a no-brainer. Alright, New York Giants. They have him selecting a receiver, which I'm extremely confused of. I don't know why you would select a receiver for the Giants. You have Hyatt, you have Robinson. Hyatt is your over-the-top guy. Robinson's your gadget guy. Slayton, he's going to be lost in free agency. But again, this draft class is super deep in receivers. Why would you take a receiver in the top of the draft unless he's Marvin Harris or he's Romeo and Dunze or Neighbors? They have Neighbors or Dunze going here. But first off, you need a quarterback to throw to them. Daniel Jones isn't that guy. And you're obviously, Daniel Jones is on a 5-year deal. You could easily exit out of that deal. You could cut him. You save a shit ton of money. You lose 10 mil, but you save a lot of money. So you just cut him. Boom, end it. You still have DeVito in the back as well. But I got Daniels from LSU going to the New York Giants. LSU, the Heisman Trophy winner. He could scramble. He could throw the football. He beat the records from Joe Burrow. And obviously they could go lineman here as well because, again, their offensive line was horrible. They had so many QB hits on, I think the most in the league. Most QB hits allowed was that New York Giants' offensive lineman, but both of the top offensive linemen are off the board. Get your quarterback. And Jalen Hyatt will be super happy because he actually has a guy that could reach his range. Was Daniels at quarterback. All right, Tennessee Titans. I got receiver. Majority of people have them going receiver as well. Obviously, if an offensive lineman falls to them, if a Joe Alt or the Penn State guy falls to them, they will select him. But I don't have that happening, so I'm going with Neighbors out of LSU. Tall, lengthy guy, speedy, and what's his name? Will Levis likes to throw the ball down the field. This guy's the guy. All right, Atlanta Falcons. I got him getting the quarterback. I said this in another video that the past couple of years they've been selecting offensive weapons. Kyle Pitts the first time. They selected Drake London the second time. They selected B.J. Robinson the third time. And now they're going to select their quarterback, and that is Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. In my opinion, this man should have been the Heisman Trophy winner because of what he did with Washington. And he is just a leader. He has everything you want as a quarterback. A leader, a tough guy, makes plays down the field, can run, and he's great in the pocket too. I think that's like something that people don't really talk about either. So I got them taking a QB where most people have them taking a defensive player. I think they've been doing that for the past couple of years now. Having them select a defensive player and they keep stacking up on that offensive unit. And it's been working out pretty nice on that for them. Honestly, they just need a quarterback, and Michael Penix is that guy. So that's who they should select. Alright, the Chicago Bears have another first round pick. This is their original first round pick. And I have them taking a receiver. You got Caleb Williams, take the second best receiver out of this draft class, Roman and Dunze. And I believe he's a Washington native, not Washington native, a Chicago native. Let me see. I thought he was from Chicago, but he's not. He's from Las Vegas. But he is a huge Devin Hester fan. He's incredible plays, and it would just be cool for him to play for the Bears, and it's a huge possibility. It is a huge possibility that he does play for the Chicago Bears. So that's why I have the Chicago Bears taking was their second first round pick. All right, the New York Jets. New York Jets. The season didn't go as planned. Aaron Rodgers got hurt on the first drive of the season, and it was just a nightmare for the Jets fans. And what I have him taking is an offensive tackle, Oregon State. But he looked incredible at that Senior Bowl. He locked up everybody, super physical, and he's a hell of a pass blocker as well. His movement, the power he has. The New York Jets has to protect Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's basically a senior. You don't want him to get hurt, because if he gets hurt again, it's basically the end of the season once more. So protect the quarterback, and getting Funga out of Oregon State is the guy to get. All right, Minnesota Vikings. I have him taking edge rusher, Lotu out of UCLA, phenomenal edge rusher, elite pass rusher, and he has high instincts, man, high IQ, but that's not the pick actually. I'm going with Drake Mayo. They need a quarterback. I don't know if they bring Kirk Cousins back. I believe they should. With Drake Mayo as a backup for a year. Let him develop. Let him learn your offense. Let him get used to the NFL speed, used to the NFL environment. But if they don't have Kirk Cousins, he'll be starting, and they still need a quarterback. You know, he has a great arm. He's from North Carolina. I'm not a huge fan of North Carolina quarterbacks, but he is different from the other guys. Just question mark about his decision-making capabilities, but that's really it. So Minnesota Vikings go with Drake Mayo if he does fall this far. People are probably saying there's no way he falls this far, but hey, there's always a chance. Denver Broncos signed Russell Wilson. I mean, he not only signed Russell Wilson, he traded for Russell Wilson. He gave up like 2 first-round picks, I believe. This is their first one since that trade. Russell Wilson has not lived up to that hype at all. Paid him a shit ton of money. He's just been a meme for the Denver Broncos. Sean Payne hasn't even quit on Russell Wilson, so that's how you know he's not great. He's not it. You have a solid offensive line. You just don't have a quarterback, and you just need to bring back those receivers. So I have him taking Bo Nix. It was this pick. He struggled at the Senior Bowl, but the Denver Broncos need a quarterback very bad. He's the guy for the future. And I just bring back those receivers, and you should be good. That defense is good as well. Surtain is a question mark as well, but hey, you need that quarterback. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders. This one's a tough one right here, because I think many mock drafts have them going edge. I had them going edge as well, but I think they're just gonna be tired of going edge. You know, they've been going edge for a while. They went with Wilson last year in the draft. He has not worked out at all. So I'm going with the interior. I'm going with Newton. He is a great interior guy. He has quick hands, and he's very athletic for his size. Like, he really is. He's pretty scary. So I'm just going to go inside for the Las Vegas Raiders. They went edge last year. You just got to hope Wilson is able to develop, because he is a scary... he kind of reminds me of Walker, like, to be honest. It's pretty sad. Just gotta hope that Wilson develops. So we're gonna go inside, get that inside pressure for Crosby, and I think there'll be a pretty good duo, Nguyen and Crosby. All right, the New Orleans Saints. This one's a tough one right here. It's like a 50-50 split, I believe, for mock drafts. They have them going edge or lineman, and I agree with those. It's either gonna be edge or lineman. Yeah, no. Here's the first one. I don't know, man. They could go... This one's super tough, man. But I have them going verse. But I could very easily see them going off the line. They keep trying Penny at left tackle, but he just hasn't been working out at all. So I could very easily see him going with the Alabama guy. But I'm just going to go with edge. I'm going to go with edge. I'm going with the Florida State guy. He's going to be the first edge player off the board. He's one of my guys. I think he just fits their scheme too. Plays hands down. He can play standing up as well. But this one's a tough pick right here. This one's probably the toughest pick in the whole draft right here for the Saints. So I can't wait to see where they pick, man. The Indianapolis Colts. Oh man, I think people have him going receiver here. I think that's what a lot of mocks have him going with, is receiver. But I'm going with Mitchell. I'm going with Mitchell right here. Had a phenomenal Senior Bowl. What I saw is a guy super fast, has great comeback. He has great comeback speed, plays the football really well, and that's what the Colts need. They're gonna be playing against the Houston Texans twice a year. You got C.J. Stroud, you got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell, and that Texans offense is a vertical offense, so you need a guy that can run. Mitchell is that guy, plays the football very well, and he also has that great comeback speed. So he's gonna be contesting every catch, no matter who it is. He has great frame. Great length. He's just what they need right now. He's gonna be the counter for them against that Texas offense. All right, the Seattle Seahawks. I have them going with the edge rusher, Lotu, out of UCLA. I said a lot about him earlier. Phenomenal edge rusher. He could drop back as well. He's super athletic. He could drop back, very instinctful, and he plays with a high mortar. This guy loves football. I think he's gonna be a legit guy for the Seattle Seahawks. They might not need an edge rusher, but just because of how talented he is, and he just fits that Seattle culture. And you can line him up anywhere too. He's not just an edge rusher. You can line him up inside as well. So I think the Seahawks can't pass on him right here. Or the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, they have tons of issues. Offensive line. They need a receiver, a big body receiver. They might need interior guys on the defensive side of the ball. They might need a corner. I mean, they do need a corner because, again, C.J. Stroud, he's literally the king of the division right now. He's dictating everything. That team is dictating everything. So they need a corner that could compete against those receivers, that could go vertical and make plays on the football. But that offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars was absolutely horrible this year. They couldn't even run the football. We're going with Troy Fashanu, I want to say his name is. Troy Fashanu out of Washington. He plays left tackle, but he's going to be playing guard in the NFL. Love his feistiness, love his mortar. Everything he does is like intense, and that's what the Jaguars need. They need a guy that ups the violence. Cam Robinson is kind of that guy. The other guys to be there at his level, and it was that intensity, it was that high mortar. So Troy is that guy that I got. Obviously, they could go center as well. Bengals. They need offensive line help as well. They're kind of in the same situation as the Saints. Going offensive line or defensive line. I have him going defensive line with Turner. A lot of people have him going in the top 10, so it's a no-brainer to select him here. To select him here now because of his talent, and going with the Bengals right there because his talent. He shouldn't have been that far down the line, Los Angeles Rams definitely need a corner. They got Kendricks, and that's about it. I think they didn't even bench Kendricks, I want to say. But you have opportunity to get a top corner in this year's draft. I'm going to be honest, I have been bouncing back and forth with either Kool-Aid or Wiggins. I think one of those two guys are going to go right here, but for now, we're just going to go with the easy one, and we're going to say it's Kool-Aid. So the Los Angeles Rams get Kool-Aid. They for sure do need a DB in this year's draft. Tons of talented ones. I think Kool-Aid is going to be the one to get selected right here. Here's the Steelers. I mean, they selected Jones last year. I was going to go with his buddy Mims out of Georgia. He'll play left tackle, and then Jones will be playing right tackle, and you should be able to run the football. But the Alabama guy is still on the board, so I'm going to go with him. JC from Alabama is still on the board, so got to go with him. You get the offensive group better. And then the Miami Dolphins, again, we got to get the offensive line better as well. We're going to go with the center, though, because he had a non-center in the playoffs, so Powers is the guy that's going to be playing for you. He's going to be our franchise center for here on out. The Philadelphia Eagles, I have him going with a corner, going with Cooper DeJean. Super versatile. You can play him in the slot, you can play outside, and he's not afraid of tackling. Tackling was a huge problem for the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully they get it down next year, but I think Cooper is going to be that guy for them, for his versatility, being able to play in the slot, playing outside. He is the outside corner, though. So, Slay's getting older as well. Bradbury just signed to a big contract, so Slay is the guy that he probably would be taking over if Slay gets hurt again, or Bradbury, or if your slot corner gets hurt, he'll be playing that role. We're into Houston Texans. Who do they have him going with? Mock drafts. Who do they have the Houston Texans going with? Drafts have the Texans going edge. I'm going with receiver here. I'm going with Thompson Jr. out of LSU. I could see him going with Walker, but Walker, he looked great at the Senior Bowl, but at the same time he looked bad because he was dropping easy passes that he should catch. The ball hits your hands, you gotta catch it, and Walker was dropping a lot of footballs in the Senior Bowl practice and in the game. So a little bit question mark. He's talented, but he just got to catch those footballs. And so I'm going with Thomas because of his size, his length, and his speed. Like I said, the Texans' offense is vertical. Every group right there. But I could very easily see them going with Walker as well. Or the Dallas Cowboys. Man, what a tragic loss in the playoffs against the Packers. Um, they're in this, a weird spot because they don't know what to do, man. They have Dak Prescott. They had Gilmore. Like, everybody was playing at their best, and they lost in the playoffs in the first round still. So, I'm going with offensive lineman for them. Going with Guyton out of Oklahoma. This guy's legit. Is he a right tackle? I believe he's a right tackle, right? He could play left, but I believe he's a natural right tackle. Smith is about to retire. He might retire after this year. He's eventually going to retire sooner than later. And then your right tackle right now, who is that? I don't think you have a good one, right? So Guyton will be playing either one. He could play either one for them. He is a dude. You get a legit guy right here with Guyton. He could very easily go to the Steelers, though, to be honest. Oh, no, he can't. Yeah, he could, though. I feel like he fits that culture for them. Green Bay Packers, I have them selecting Arnold out of Alabama. Kool-Aid and Arnold are very, very similar. They're very great corners. I feel like Kool-Aid's he's smoother, but Arnold, he's a great corner as well, man. Like, I feel like he can't go wrong with any of them. I think Arnold's a little bit more physical. Like, he's not afraid to tackle, where Kool-Aid is kind of a little hesitant. Arnold, this would be a great pick for the Green Bay Packers because they need corner help. So it's for sure going to be a corner right here. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, I believe, will get that contract. Mike Evans, I believe, will get a contract as well. Godwin should still be there. You could upgrade at running back too. Get another one because this class is very deep at running back. Defensively, you got your corner, you got your interior guys. Could get better at the edge position, but you do got that Yaya guy. Middle linebacker, probably gonna lose Devin White in the draft, but that's a second round pick right there. Safeties, Winfield, is he a free agent? Definitely re-sign him too. Those are your priorities. Is Mike Evans and Winfield. Who's the other safety though? You need an other safety. I could see them going with no, I don't think so. Winfield could play both strong safety and free safety. So could the Minnesota guy, but I'm gonna go with the Duke inside lineman. He played tackle at Duke, but he's for sure gonna be playing guard and center for the Bucks. I think he's gonna be playing center for the Bucks. Jensen just retired, unfortunately, so I don't know how that works. They paid him a lot of money, but he retired, so I don't know if they still pay him or if he just doesn't get paid or something like that. That's unfortunate because Jensen was a beast and he did deserve that contract. It's just injuries and then ended up retiring, man. I feel bad, man. Sucks, man. Like, imagine Jensen and that Munchie guy from North Dakota. That would have been cool to see, but they're going to go with this Duke guy, Bertan, I think his name is. Bertans. He'll be a good guy for them. Arizona Cardinals was their second first-round pick. I have them going receiver, Xavier. This draft class is very, very stacked at receiver, but none are... I call Xavier an anomaly because of how different he is. He has the size of a tight end. He's as fast as a receiver. He's as strong as a running back. Like, he is just different, and that's why he's an anomaly, because you could line him up anywhere on that field, and I believe that's why the Cardinals should pick him right here, because you can have him do anything, you know? He's not your typical receiver, just like how Debo was out of South Carolina. When you watch those South Carolina plays with Debo, you knew that he wasn't just a receiver. He knew he was something more. Xavier kind of gives me that same vibe where he's just a little bit different. He's more than just a receiver. So I'm very curious to where he goes, but the Cardinals, if I were them, I'm picking them right here because you can line them up anywhere, and it's just going to be a mystery for that defense, you know. Bills taking Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. Tons of great corners in this draft class. All great corners, man. You just gotta pick the one that fits your scheme more, you know? That's just all it is. Alright, the Detroit Lions, they need corners. All the top corners are off the board now, so they're gonna go edge rusher. It was Robertson out of Missouri. What we know about the Detroit Lions is that they pick their guys, the guys that they like coming out of the draft. They did that last year. They drafted Gibbs, they drafted Campbell, and right here they're going to draft Robinson out of Missouri. He had a phenomenal Senior Bowl, went off, and I feel like he fits their culture and he fits what they want to do. They like to line up Aiden Hutchinson sometimes over the guard and center. Robinson could most definitely do that. He's also a great edge rusher, but the intensity that he plays with and defensively looking great. I mean, you could probably use a corner, but you already have so many, and they developed them pretty well as well. Lamberg, you have guys on that defense. So we're going to go offense. We're going with Mims out of Georgia. He's going to be playing that right tackle position for you guys. That right tackle was getting exposed all day for the Ravens, and he's going to help you run the football as well. So where goes Mims out of Georgia. San Francisco 49ers, they're in the Super Bowl, and they have a pretty solid roster all around. But their weakness is that interior rush. They're going to use draft Sweat right here. Sweat is a monster, a huge man, super powerful, but his conditioning, his stamina, all that is a big concern. Can he be a every down guy? Probably not, but he'll be on the field and but when he's on the field, he'll make a huge impact rushing the passer, stopping the run. He's a beast. It's just his cardio is the big question mark, but he is a legit guy. All right, the Kansas City Chiefs. Another Super Bowl win for the Chiefs. Their roster, again, is pretty well built already. Solid line. Running backs, get them late in the draft. Receivers, got some work to do right there. Maybe tight end, but you could draft those later because Kelsey eventually is going to move on or retire. And then your defense, super young, great. Middle linebackers, great. Safeties, great. Corners, everything's pretty solid for them. But we're going to go with the receiver. We're going to go with the receiver, Keon Coleman, a jump ball machine. Right, you got Rives as well, who's going to be playing inside the numbers. Those screen passes too, where Keon Coleman's that jump ball play, deep down the field type of a guy. Deep post, deep digs, all that stuff. That's what he does. Comeback routes, slants. But a jump ball machine, he's going to be a very good weapon for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that energy level as an offense is going to be very high with Keon, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes and Rice. Man.